these Monday night calls are like a speed dating session. Like I've got much lengthier calls out there, but the goal of these is to be short and sweet, try to make the most of, 20 to 30 minutes. So I will happily answer questions at the end, but let me just finish chugging my Nisha. Listen, this isn't even meant to be for show or anything like that. My voice is hoarse. I need the brain juice. I was like, I got to get my niche in before this call starts. Misty's like, yes, I feel that. Okay, so excited because this topic is really just the most near and dear to my heart subject of like merging my love of birth and oils together. Um, I am kind of like in the thick of it right now, creating and dreaming and hoping to launch really just, the last 12 plus years of my life as a birth worker and putting just some higher level content and education out there. So this is just what I'm the most passionate about. This is what ultimately led me to essential oils to begin with, is birth work. And so tonight, I'm trying to keep it simple in that I'm just going to speak on oils for pregnancy. I'm not getting into labor. Labor and birth is a whole other class, which I do have recorded. At the very end, I'll share with you guys some resources to go find some of these things. I've got several childbirth classes out there. I even have one out there that covers more of like holistic pregnancy, which is going to cover like food, herbs, supplements, nutrition, where tonight I really am just doing oils, like just talking oils, trying to keep it real streamlined here. But my journey has been, and that's like the most, PG photo I could find of birth right there, like not showing too much, just like that's just a side leg for you. But that's my little sister, actually. I can't remember. I want to say that's her first baby. She just had her fourth baby. But I have been involved in birth work my whole life. My mom was a midwife. My aunt was a midwife. They brought me to births. My first birth that I remember was the age of 3, and that was my little sister's birth. Such a core memory for me because my mom gave me the task of holding the mirror for her so she could see my sister coming out as she was pushing. And I just was in love with birth. Like it is, since I was 3 years old, truly a calling passed down generationally in my blood. I can't get away from it. It's just part of my DNA. But for 12 years, I'm trying to think, when did I launched my doula practice in 2012. Yeah, it was a year before I got married. So that was a while ago. And I have been teaching childbirth ed classes. I graduated from midwifery school in 2013. Young Living came into my life all around the same time that I was in the thick of birth. And I started bringing birth oils with me to births. I started getting asked by, especially in the hospital, OBs, nurses, what are those? Are those safe? Are we allowed to have those? All the questions. And it really made me up my game. I felt like I needed to know my stuff. I felt like I needed to understand the science behind them. I wanted to be able to properly explain them. I wanted to be prepared. I would literally show up to births with like a binder of like printed out studies that were like third party public studies, like not like Young Living, data. Like I wanted them to know that these things are like legit and why I was using them. And before you know it, a Young Living side business started birthing in and of itself because I couldn't help but share, and because I was seeing profound effects of these oils at birth. And so were these other people that, before you know it, I'm like enrolling nurses and of course the mothers and the mother's family and all these awesome things. So this is just part of my main focus and what I really love to teach on. I love that in pregnancy, more than ever, people, the moms, are more receptive to changing habits, to changing their lifestyle, more open to natural methods, partly because they're making decisions now for somebody else in their life and not just themselves, right? Like I have people that find me that are like, I have never really cared so much about like what I'm putting in and on my body until I got pregnant. then I started questioning everything. And I think that is so good. And so a pregnant mom is ripe for this. Like their ears are open, their minds open, their hearts open, their ears are open to hearing what could be out there as a safe option, right? And so this is the perfect time in pregnancy to make those switches, to cultivate a toxin-free home, a plant-based home, to try to get rid of things that could potentially cause harm. Here's the truth, that there are a lot of things out there over the counters that are prescribed to pregnant women that are safe and then later recalled. I was trying to look up some stats. These are actually a little outdated. So believe it or not, these stats are worse than they were a few years ago. But the FDA recalls about somebody's calling me. Sorry. Did that just make my screen go away? Can y'all still see my shared screen? Okay, that's crazy because I can't see it on my end. Whoops. Funny enough, that's like a doula client, so I'll have to call her back. She's not on labor, don't worry. I can't see my screen anymore. Let me go back to it. That might happen again. Sorry. I'm on call all the time. Okay, hang on. Oh no, I don't see my slides. Where'd they go? Can you guys see that? Misty, do you see them? They came back from me. You see the one that says the harsh truth? Okay, perfect. Okay. This was I don't know what I was saying, but let me tell you about this umbilical cord test, that crazy test that they did. They found over 200 chemicals in newborn umbilical cord blood. These were chemicals that were found in over-the-counters that were advertised and recommended as safe for pregnancy. They're also advertised as not being able to pass that umbilical cord and get to the baby. Over 200 chemicals found in newborn umbilical blood. Most over-the-counter drugs contain preservatives, dyes, other GMO and carcinogenic chemicals. Oh, that's what I was saying. The FDA has recalled over 2,000 drugs within the past 12 months. And many of those that were recommended as safe for pregnancy. Pregnancy in all of the different fields of medicine, like obstetrics is the one that changes the most because you are the guinea pig. You are the testing field. So they don't know what's safe until they don't know that it's safe anymore. And so when it comes to pregnancy, like it's hard to find things that I would say are safe for pregnancy. It's really, really hard. Because if you're going to look at it from like the FDA standpoint, I don't think I trust that as a sound voice, right? Because you are the testing field. Even things, you guys, like your everyday cleaning products, your body products, your beauty products, they can injure, they can cause harm. And these are things that it's good to rethink things during pregnancy. I love this little meme. It's so old, but still makes me laugh. It says, I'll eat fast food, drink neon colored energy drinks, and take all my prescriptions, but I need to research before I try lavender essential oil. I think it's a funny meme. However, you should research oils too. You should always research oils, especially because now more than ever, there are a lot of crappy oils on the market. Like essential oils made a comeback. You know, essential oils are not new, right? I'm not getting into like a EO 101 class tonight, but historically speaking, they've been here since the beginning of time. Biblically speaking, they have been here since creation. They are plants in a bottle. That's all they should be. They should be nothing but plants in a bottle, okay? Essential oils, if you're looking for a pure, what I call therapeutic grade essential oil, there should be nothing added to. Even in the distillation process, that should be nothing but water and steam. Okay, so if you're finding an essential oil that's labeled pure, but it only has like a little percent of oil in there, and the rest is a filler, and the rest is water, and the rest is chemicals, that is not the same. And I think one of my biggest fears is that someone would listen to this class and be all pumped to use oils for pregnancy and then go to like Whole Foods or Walgreens or Walmart and get like a really toxic oil. So please also always do your research with oils because quality matters. It matters a lot. Okay, so I don't ever do this often, but I do feel like it's important, since we're talking about pregnancy, that I am not diagnosing or treating or curing tonight. I'm not your doctor. I'm not your midwife. I'm not your OB. I'm just your friend. And I'm talking about oils that I use as a doula and that I used in my pregnancies. Okay, so the ways that I'm going to talk about some of these oils tonight, again, speed dating sesh. At the very end, I'll give you some resources to find a full length class for some of these things. So I'm not getting into the whole essential oil like ins and outs tonight. I'm going to walk through some specific needs in pregnancies, especially I would say the most common pregnancy things. But just know that when I mention an oil, that there's several ways that you can use them. Okay, so we use oils for pregnancy and birth always, for physical body, for emotions, for your mind. They're all synced. That's how God made us to be. And so when I'm talking about uses, think of like several different ways. Okay, aromatic is one way, for instance. So this is obviously going to be really nurturing to the respiratory system and the sinuses, but also inhalation can have a huge effect on mood, on hormonal support. It can also, especially if you're diffusing, it can impact indoor air quality. It can protect against environmental threats. There's so many ways that you can just use it aromatically in the air and it's still going to get into your bloodstream. And that is why quality matters, because if you're using a crappy oil, a toxic oil that says like aromatic use only or do not ingest, but you are still getting it in your bloodstream through inhalation. So different methods of inhalation would be diffusing, direct inhalation, which is if I drop some oil on my hand or a cotton ball, just direct inhaling like that. Indirect inhalation, which is like, holding the oil bottle or putting inside of like a little nasal inhaler. Hot water. My kids lately, or not lately, but yesterday, have had like a weird cough situation. And the best method that I'm seeing for them that's working is going in the bathroom. Sorry, this is side note. I know this isn't pregnancy, but you can do this in pregnancy if you're stopped up or have a cough. Run the shower as hot as it can go. Steam, trap the steam in the bathroom by putting a towel at the bottom of the door, so no air is getting out. Light up your diffuser with all the different oils, the respiratory oils. And then the other thing is I put like a warm rag or a rag in the water, and then I can add oils to that, and I can either cup it around their nose and let them breathe it that way, or like it's called like a steam tent, or a vapor tent. You can also add oils to a humidifier. You can also, make oils as your perfume. You should totally ditch toxic perfume and make oils your perfume. You can make room sprays. Okay, those are all the different ways to use it aromatically. Topically, okay, during pregnancy, the feet are a great location for oil application, also for babies. That's also how I do like a lot of children's massage, is just the bottom of the feet. You can do hot or cold compresses. You can take baths with them. You can do foot baths with them. You can put them directly on the area that you need them to be on. You can do VitaFlex points. If you don't know what VitaFlex points, you could literally just Google VitaFlex points. They are basically points that are associated in your hands, your feet, your ears, with all the organs of your body and all the different spinal cords of it's going to reach where it needs to go. There's ear VitaFlex points and a whole different auricular therapy. But topically is a great way to use them if you're using them on either a sensitive spot, or if you're using like an oil that is a little spicy, that has some hot oils, then you want to use a carrier. So we dilute with always organic. I like coconut oil. Some people don't like coconot oil. It dries their skin out. You can use olive oil. You can use jojoba, avocado. There's so many oils out there. Young Living makes one called V6, which is like a complex of 6 different vegetable oils, and it's a great one. But that is, always an option. You can always dilute your oils. You don't have to use them neat. If you don't want to, neat is our word for just using them straight up undiluted. All right, and then internally, so oral ingestion is safe with Young Living. This is what I trust. This is what I use in my pregnancies. You can put them in capsules. You can put them in a spoonful of honey. You can drink them in water if they taste yummy. You can add them to a little maple syrup. You can cook with them. You can bake with them. There's so many ways to use them. You can add them to your Nature Red shot. Just because I feel like this is what I always look for. This is just how my brain works, but I love the history. I love the science. If you are like that and you're like, I need some proof, I need some validation, go check these 2 websites out, pubmed.gov That is not Young Living. That's third party, peer-reviewed public studies. Type in essential oils. You're going to see thousands of studies pop up. Seed2seal.com. This is Young Living's, basically their quality promise that you can actually see how their oils are made in-house, all the way from the seeds that they plant, literally every step of the way to like literally putting them in the bottle. You can look at how they do distillation. You can look at how they do harvest. I think that transparency needs to be just standard if you're shopping for oils, right? You need to know how it's made, where it's coming from. Okay, again, not going to focus too much on this. If you want the in-depth training, I have it. But I just want to mention that when you Google essential oils for a pregnancy, you're going to get a lot of opinions, because there are a lot of opinions out there. And there's a lot of different types of oils out there, and quality ranges, obviously, right? So there's different schools of aromatherapy. What Young Living focuses on, and Young Living truly is like the trailblazers for bringing back essential oils in the United States or the world. We're international. They studied under the French model of aromatherapy. And so that is where this is, the model is founded by French MDs, scientists, and chemists. It incorporates all the ways that I mentioned using oils in inhalation, topical, and internal. And it focuses on properly distilling essential oils. So this is an art and a science that was passed down to Gary Young that he took when he started Young Living. And I just feel like that's important, because if you do Google, you're going to get mixed reviews. So one of my best resources that I love and have used since day one of my journey in learning how to use these for women it's a book called Gentle Babies. And it's written by Deborah Rayburn. Deborah Rayburn is a master herbalist. So if in the world of aromatherapy, you've got aromatherapists, which are like, let's just compare them like to a nurse and a doctor as far as like hours of schooling and education and experience. And so a master herbalist is like at the highest level you can have for aromatherapy. That's what Deborah Rayburn is. When it comes to how to use essential oils, that's what I want. That I would want that person's opinion. Deborah also specifically used Young Living in her practice as a naturopathic doctor for like 15 years. And so her book, Gentle Babies, is like hands-on encounters of what she saw and how she helped people. This is a good quote here. And great book too. There are no records of abnormal fetuses or aborted fetuses due to the normal use of essential oils, either by inhalation or topical application. There are no records of a few drops of essential oils taken by mouth causing any problems either. And that's from an RN. This book is really good. It's called Clinical Aromatherapy. All right. So just so we're clear, I don't want anyone having any fear with these. But of course, quality matters. Okay, we already talked about the ways to use oils. Now, I'm always asked this question, so I just go ahead and just include it anyway. Everyone's like, what oils do I avoid in pregnancy? Me personally, this is Haley speaking, I never avoided any oils in pregnancy. I always used common sense and intuition. Even the oils that are like, told to that could put you into labor, I have never had any issues with any of those. Now there are a list, here's a list you can see of ones that are typically, if you're going to Google oils not to use, you're going to see this list pop up on Google. So that's things like basil. I use basil, birch, calamus, cassia. You can see the list there. Now there's a few times that Gentle Babies book will actually recommend these oils, which I find really funny. And usually they're diluted in a blend, like wintergreen, for instance, is in a great blend called Panaway. And here's what you need to know. Why are these oils on this list to avoid? Well, first of all, there's probably not enough studies done, because nobody wants to fund these studies, because we want to put all the studies towards pharmaceuticals and all these other things that are terrible, right? So there's not enough studies to be able to say that they're safe. What you need is firsthand experience. What you need is moms and a company, which Young Living's almost 30 years old, of tried and true oil users that have said that they've used these oils safely, right? But of course, always going back to quality, always going back to common sense. So you can see that list is pretty small. Now we'll talk about, here's what I want to break down for you. And this is just going to be the rest of this call. So we're going to talk about some of the most common pregnancy I don't even want to say symptoms that people deal with, and some oils that could be really helpful. Now, I did include a short list of supplements there. I promised I wasn't getting into like nutrition or supplements in this class, but I just listed it anyway. I feel like why not? But always, Ningxia Red, minerals, enzymes. I love mineral essence. I love Allerzyme. I love Detoxzyme. All those. I love Essential Zymes 4. Always a good probiotic. Life9 is wonderful. I use that all the way down from my newborns, my kids, all of us use it. Green omegas, protein. There's so many protein options out there. You can choose the one that fits you. Collagen, of course, for added benefits for your skin elasticity, hello tearing, and also for protein. But just know and remember that food is medicine. Supplements can only supplement. Food is medicine, first and foremost. Like there is no prenatal easy button that can take that away for you. Like food first. All right, so let's talk about some of these pregnancy things. Okay, obviously nausea and morning sickness. That's a big one I hear a lot, right? Usually this is a good sign of health. It's a good sign of progesterone being increased in the body. Go-tos for me personally. So peppermint, obviously that one can help with the occasional like low bile production, nausea, heartburn, and any other digestive complaints. You can just do a drop diluted like in water. You can put it on your throat there, your esophagus. You can also put it in a capsule or just try to inhale it and see if that works well for you. I also really like the citrus oils for this. I love lemon and citrus fresh. Ginger is another great one. Nausea can also be tied to a sluggish liver. And so sometimes like pregnancy hormones can kind of overprocess that liver. And so the citrus oils are really good for supporting your liver as well. There's also, by the way, you can Google VitaFlex points for nausea, and you can take these oils and actually put these oils on those exact points. Another thing I want to mention just with this in general, I really like, as I'm even going to go through these, I can honestly tell you I have very little pregnancy symptoms other than a little bit of nausea, and mine's more normally at night if I am low on protein, and a little bit of lack of energy in that first trimester where I'm just listening to my body and giving the rest that it needs. But when you take care of yourself and you move your body and you eat well, you can minimize a lot of these things too. So the oils work really effectively and they're so great to have on hand. But I do think another big reason why people have morning sickness is because they're not getting enough protein. And so if you can wake up and first thing in the morning, make yourself like a protein shake. I love Young Living's chocolate and vanilla protein. You can add collagen to it. That alone is going to make a big difference because that baby's pulling on your mineral reserve and your proteins and just pulling a lot out of your body. And so the more you replenish, the better you're going to feel. So obviously energy is a big one, right? So as far as fatigue goes, again, the citrus oils, again, peppermint. There's also another oil called Energy. Funny, that's just is what it says, but it has juniper oil in it. It doesn't smell wonderful. I actually wore it in pregnancy as a perfume. I mixed it with peppermint, or I'm sorry, with Joy. So I mixed Energy and Joy, and it was like this exotic perfume. It was so wonderful. But both of those helped a lot. In pregnancy, I really can't do coffee. I always try. I'm like, I just want it. But it just kind of is a little too acidic for me. So of course I love, like, there's some coffee alternatives out there like mud water, which is adaptogenic mushrooms, and there's Ticino, but I love me a good zing. Young Living makes this, it's an energy drink with very, very low caffeine. Even the amount is considered safe for pregnancy. The source of caffeine is green tea and white and ginseng. And so it's just really clean. That to me was like such a godsend in the middle of the day if I really needed to pick me up, because I have several other children. And when I was pregnant with Harvest and had toddlers, I was like, just a zing in the afternoon was such a treat and worked so well. And again, low enough caffeine that it's still considered safe for pregnancy. Even nitro. Nitro is a little shot that Young Living makes that is, again, clean source caffeine, but also it's got a little bit of protein in it. So if you're like, you get shakes from blood sugar, nitro is really a great little easy pop. I actually keep it in my doula bag for women in labor. who aren't like able to eat a bunch of food because they're nauseous or whatever, they'll drink a nitro. And nitro also is good for brain food, brain juice. So good stuff right there. Okay, let's see. Well, I took out some of my things here. So sometimes women in pregnancy have headaches, and that is something that obviously you want to bring that concern to whoever your care provider is. But headaches can be caused by a whole bunch of different things, right? It can be hormonal. For me, if I had a headache, it was almost always solved by Progestins Plus, just a little bit of progesterone. I would do a couple drops under my tongue. Grapefruit oil, ylang-ylang oil, and peppermint oil also are good for like supporting your head. You can add a drop to like a teaspoon of carrier oil and just rub into your temples, the back of your neck. Another source of headaches for me personally is just tension, like tension in my shoulders. And that could be from carrying a heavy load, heavier load being in pregnancy or stress. And Stress Away Roller works really, really well for those tension headaches. I actually roll it onto my shoulders and neck. And I notice a huge difference with that. Okay, I have a couple other things here listed under, sorry, these might be out of order, but acid reflux and constipation. Okay, so acid reflux is something that this was like my one and only pregnancy symptom that I had pretty much my entire pregnancies. I could always make it go away, but my naturopath told me it's a sign of high progesterone. And so I tried to look at it as a blessing and not a curse. But because for me, it wasn't something that I ate. It wasn't like, oh, I get heartburn when I eat too much red sauce or when I eat too much acidic food. It was just heartburn if I drank a sip of water. It was just heartburn. And so there were a couple of things that worked really well for me. First of all, if I made a capsule of peppermint and digest, that helped so much. Really just helping a very short torso, can't tell in this video, but that would help me just digest food better. I had to take enzymes with every single meal. That was like an absolute game changer for helping my body digest and absorb. I could not eat after like 6 p.m. at night. Like, nope, 6 p.m. And y'all, my pregnancies are my healthiest time. I swear, I shed all this unnecessary weight. I gain only baby weight. And I know it's because I'm basically eating as clean as possible and doing intermittent fasting. But let me tell you one more trick that was like the game changer for me. Young Living makes a product called Alkaline. And it's this delicious, I always say it tastes like a margarita, but it's a powder, kind of like a bubbly, sour lemon lime. You put it in water. I liked it like with ice cold water and chug it. You can drink it with a meal or right after a meal. And sometimes I would have it twice a day. And my gosh, it literally was like heartburn gone instantly. So I just absolutely love I love Alkaline. It's so funny. I drink it so much in pregnancy that I can't even touch the stuff when I'm not pregnant anymore. But you better believe as soon as I'm pregnant, I'm like, order 20 boxes and never run out of it. All right, let's talk about sore back. This is really common, right? You've got round ligaments. You've got relaxin hormone, your body's stretching, you've got a new balance going on, your weight's now shifted forward. So sore back is so common. How many times I haven't mentioned peppermint? Like 4 times. Peppermint oil, okay, copaiba, frankincense, mixing those together. You can dilute them, you can apply them directly to your muscles. There's also some other mixtures already out there like Valor, Panaway, Deep Relief, Aromaseas. My go-to every single night before bed was CBD muscle rub. Every single night, CBD muscle rub. I would have Jeremy put it on my lower back, do a little hip squeeze on my hips, kind of over my tailbone. And my gosh, it was like the best sleep ever. But like maybe that too. Alkaline and CBD muscle rub. Don't want to run out of those things. All right, stretch marks. So there's a couple things you can do as far as like before and after, but Kids Sense Tinder Tush is actually like an off-label stretch mark prevention. You can apply that topically a few times a day, add a couple drops of gentle baby oil. I would add a drop or 2 of rose oil every once in a while if I felt really fancy. Both of those are really great for skin elasticity. You can also do 1 to 3 drops of Valor over your abdomen, dilute it, and just rub it all over your abdomen. For old stretch marks that you're trying to get rid of, there's a product called Prenolone Plus. That's a body cream. And you can also add Gentle Baby to that. You just mix 1 to 2 drops in the cream and apply it daily. Now, also keep in mind that stretch marks, obviously, sometimes it can be like a genetic thing. But skin elasticity is directly related to food. And wow, I hear lots of screaming. Oh my goodness, bedtime. Making sure that you're hydrated. I always made sure every day I had like a big old thing of water with electrolytes and minerals. So hydration is really, really important. You can actually Google like homemade labor aid and just drink that in pregnancy too. Oh my gosh, what is going on with Emerson? Can y'all hear that? God bless bedtime. Yeah, you can't hear that, Misty. And like they're upstairs. What is going on? Food, fruits, vegetables are also going to help in skin elasticity. So I never want to pretend like oils are really truly the easy button because they work so effectively and so quickly, but they're just a tool in the toolbox. They're not meant to take the place of like good food and good habits. Okay. So as I'm mentioning all this, every now and then I'm just like, but also make sure you get sleep, but also make sure you get rid of stressors in your life. Like it's all part of the big picture, right? Okay, let me see. Now, blood pressure. Obviously, food is medicine, blood pressure, moving your body, walking. I'm not going to pretend that you could just eat McDonald's and rub on some lavender and you're good to go. That's not the case. However, there are some oils, Misty, there are some oils out there that are really good for circulation and healthy blood flow and can help things keep moving and flowing. And those oils are ylang ylang, lavender, Aroma Life. Aroma Life is a beautiful blend. I know it has a ylang ylang and lavender in it. I'm like blanking on what else. I think cypress is in it. It smells so good. You apply 1 to 2 drops on the heart area and the inner wrist. And that really stabilizes things. You can also inhale it. You can apply it to your neck, to your feet. Ningxia Red is also really powerful for this. And you can put lavender in your Ningxia Red if you like the way that tastes, or you can put Aroma Life in there. But I would do Ningxia Red every single day. We actually have clinical studies out now that show the effects of Ningxia Red. A daily dose is 2 ounces a day. It's like a shot glass, where they've proven that it impacts your sleep for better sleep, lowering stress, and also giving energy during the day. So it's kind of like a catch-all for everything. Okay, did I miss anything as I'm going through this? Oh, I didn't even mention sleep. And then I'm trying to like not go into labor because my brain wants to go there next. This is where we're going to cap it tonight. But as far as good sleep, there are so many oils out there, but we're all different. My body chemistry is different from your body chemistry. What makes me wind down at night might not be what makes you wind down at night. But just a few examples. I love Stress Away. I love Dreamcatcher. Peace and Calming. My kids' go-to right now is vetiver, cedarwood, orange, and valor. That combo has been really, really good. For some people, just like good old chamomile or chamomile mixed with lavender. There's a beautiful smelling blend called Tranquil, and there's another blend called CBD Calm. CBD Calm to me is a really good one because I use that throughout the day, like just as a mom. It's not something that makes me sleepy per se. Where Tranquil, I don't know if I would use that in the day. That's more like a nighttime one for me. So you might need to play around with these and see, but there's so many great options. And if I didn't mention something that you use, you can always put that in the comments and let me know. Frankincense, Rutavala, if you're hardcore and need some deep sleep. But yeah, some great sleep options out there that I would use those out of any other option that they're considered safe for pregnancy. I would say don't even touch NyQuil, don't touch any of that crap, like just go straight to plants. All right, I think that's it for tonight. If I had to narrow down all that I said into like the top 5 for pregnancy, which really it'd be like 35, but I'm trying to keep it simple. These 5 right here: peppermint, lavender, lemon, frankincense, and valor. The starter kit, Young Living has several starter kits. This is called like the premium starter bundle. This right here already has all 5 of those. And if you were to buy each of those individually, it's going to cost more than this entire kit with the diffuser. So if you are on this call tonight or you hear this recording and you're not a Young Living member yet or customer, get with the person who invited you to this call and ask them about this starter bundle for pregnancy, because if I were to round up all the different options for you, this is going to save you the most money. This is going to be the most useful. This is going to be the kit, the oils that you're going to grab for all the time. Let me just share with you, last but not least, the few resources for further learning. I apologize. This definitely went longer than I intended it to. Text Joy Within. Text that one word, okay, no spaces, Joy Within, to 985-218-8868 for upcoming pregnancy and birth resources. Like I said, I'm working on all sorts of things, including a free ebook that I'm hoping to launch by the end of the week if my children will allow me to work. And I will be sending out via text anything that I'm about to come out with to you guys. My YouTube channel here is full of just free classes. Okay. If you go to this, it's Apex Living LLC. There's a pregnancy one in there. I'm sorry, there's a birth one in there because I didn't talk birth at all tonight. Postpartum needs to be its own entire class. There's a oils for babies one in there. And then last but not least, reach for the apex.com. If you click on the shop tab, I have a series called Empowered Journey to Motherhood. That is so much information. Like if you're looking for a holistic pregnancy class where I cover nutrition and herbs, if you're looking for even like more in-depth labor, go check that out. So that's it for resources. Hope this was helpful. I'll go ahead and take any questions that y'all might have. And then I'll also see you guys next Monday. I have one more call this month, tonight's Tuesday, but next Monday, I'm teaching on if you are new to Young Living on our team, what team resources we have for you. And so that's going to be next Monday. But can I take any questions?